So today we'll discuss economic importance of bryophytes. In last class we discussed the general feature of bryophytes, and also we discussed the life cycle, general life cycle of the bryophytes. Now come to the economic importance of bryophytes. So following are the economic importance. The first one is formation of soil. It helps in formation of soil. So how it helps in formation of soil? The bryophytes, they colonize bare rocks. I will tell you what is this. Bare rocks. Then they break the rocks into soil. And then it helps in higher growth of the higher plant grow. Okay. So how it helps in formation of soil? You might have heard about the weathering of the rock. जो सॉइल प्रिपरेशन होता है उसका जो प्रोसेस होता है उसको कहा जाता है वेदरिंग. तो आपका सॉइल कहाँ से बनता है? रॉक से बनता है. सो कहीं भी आपका रॉक होता है तो वहाँ आपका बारिश हुआ तो कुछ दिनों के बाद आप देखोगे वहाँ पर कुछ ग्रीन पैचेस आर growing. So these green patches are the bryophytes. So that is the colony of the bryophytes. So it is no that's why I have written colonize bare rocks. जो खुला चट्टान होता है या फिर पत्थर होता है वहीं पर ये पहले colonize करते हैं. Then they start secreting some chemicals from their body. As a result, the rock is broken down into small particles which becomes the soil. So, and gradually the soil becomes fertile and it help in higher in the growth of the higher plants in that soil. Okay. So this is first one. Now come to the second economic importance. It prevents soil erosion. It prevents soil erosion. So when the mosses are grown and they form a carpet or cover the surface of the soil, they reduce the impact of the rain on the soil. Thus, the soil erosion is prevented. So, the dense moss carpet reduces the impact of rain on soil, and in this way it prevents soil erosion. Okay, so this is the next importance of bryophytes. Now come to the third one, that is peat formation. So you might have heard about the cow dung peat. So similarly, the peat is also made up of the bryophytes, and for example, your sphagnum. Sphagnum is a bryophyte. It produces peat. Okay. Now, what are the use of this peat? The peats are uses. The uses are, they can be used as fuel, like your cow dung peat. Then they also act as soil conditioner. Okay. So when these peats are added to the soil, they condition the soil. They make the soil more porous so that the oxygen, enough oxygen can be made available to the soil. So thus it helps in horticulture. Okay. Now come to the next importance, that is packing material. They can be used as packing materials. Okay, so the same moss, that is sphagnum. So you have to remember the name, children. Sphagnum moss. It holds large quantities of large amount of water. Okay, that's why it is used for picking लिविंग प्लांट्स ड्यूरिंग ट्रांसपोर्टेशन. सो अब देखो, आप फ्लिपकार्ट में या फिर अमेजन में जब प्लांट मंगवाते हैं ना, उसमें आपका जो स्पैग्नम मॉस है ना, उसी से उसको पैकिंग किया जाता है ताकि उसका वाटर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी ज़्यादा हो और ड्यूरिंग द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन द प्लांट विल नॉट डाई. सो दैट्स वाई यूज्ड फॉर पैकिंग living plants during transportation. Okay, now the other one is they also act as food sources. They also act as food sources. They may act as the food for the small animals, the small animals. Not all bryophytes, some bryophytes act as the food for birds and herbivorous mammals. Means grazing animals. Okay, now the most important is your ecological importance. They are the pioneer plant. What is pioneer plant? See, when there is I have said you about the formation of the soil. तो जब आपका सॉइल बनने का प्रोसेस शुरू होता है तो एक्चुअली क्या होता है, आपका सपोज से दिस इज ए पीस ऑफ रॉक. ये रॉक में पहले आपके लाइकेन ग्रो करते हैं. when it gets a little amount of moisture, then first of all the lichen grows on it. Then the lichen secretes some acid. Different types of lichens are there. So the lichen secretes some acids and other chemicals which helps in it increases the moisture content and it helps in weathering of the rock. Now this rock is suitable for the growth of the bryophytes because the moisture content is more than earlier. So now this before this lichen was there, and lichen is not a plant. Lichen is the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. So which plant member is fast growing? First of all, it is growing on the rock, that is the bryophytes. So that's why it is known as pioneer plant. Okay, and it also helps in ecological succession. Just a minute. Ecological succession. What is ecological succession? As I have told you that this is the first plant that grows on the bare rock. So then gradually what happens, the soil is formed, and as the fertility of the soil increases, gradually the herbs, then shrubs, and then trees are growing in it. So this gradual change of community, initially it was a bare rock, then gradually the herbs were grown, then shrubs, then trees, and ultimately after years together, after 100 of years, it may become a forest. Okay, so this type of change in community is known as ecological succession. Okay, Now next, it helps in improving soil fertility. Okay, so this is first one, second, third, then fourth one is they maintain moisture. Okay, so these are the ecological importance of bryophytes. Now come to the next part, that is classification of bryophytes. So the bryophytes are classified, they are divided into liverworts and second one is mosses. Okay, so let us discuss one by one their general feature, habitat, mode of reproduction. So these things we'll discuss. The first one is liverwort. Okay, so the general feature, they are mostly found in moist and sandy place. In moist and sandy place. Okay, and the plant body is thalloid. Plant body is thalloid. So in the beginning I have told you that there are one group of bryophytes which is flat, whose body is flat and it is not differentiated into root, stem and leaf like structures. But there is another group of bryophytes in which the plant body is differentiated into root like, stem like and leaf like structure. So the liverworts are the thalloid structure, means that is not differentiated into root, stem and leaf like structures. So they are flat, means they are flat, okay, and not differentiated and closely attached to the substratum. Substratum means what? The surface on which they grow. Okay, and they are dorsiventral. So here the structure is like this. Suppose say here the example is mercansia. So this, the plant body is like this, and this leaf like structure, flattened leaf like structure, and this structure is very closely pressed to the soil. Okay, and it is dorsiventral, means side the side of the, or the portion of the thallus which is present above is known as dorsal side, and the part that is in contact with the soil is known as ventral side. So it is differentiated dorsiventrally and it is fixed to the soil by its ventral side, so it is known as dorsiventral. Now come to its habitat. They grow on damp soil, as I said you. So damp soil, marshes, like stream banks, tree bark, etc. Okay, so this is their habitat. Now come to the plant body. Its structure we'll discuss. We have already discussed, I'm not repeating that. The plant body is flat leaf like structure and it is thalloid, means not differentiated into even root, stem and leaf like structure, and the plant body is dorsiventral, means it's flat in the ventral and dorsal side. Okay, So, and there are some species which are having tiny leaf-like structures. Now come to the most important part of the liverwort is the reproduction. Okay. So now come to reproduction in liverwort. Okay. So how do they reproduce? They reproduce by three methods. First one is vegetative. Second one is asexual. And third one is sexual. Okay. Now let us first discuss the vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation. It takes place by fragmentation. So during fragmentation, what happens? The thallus breaks into pieces, then each pieces is piece grows into a new plant. Okay. Now come to the asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction takes place by zymme. Very important, children. So now I will discuss in details what is zymme and that is how do they reproduce. Now come to this part. So zymme. Okay. So these zymme are, what are these zymme? Zymme are green multicellular asexual buds. Okay. Suppose this is here I am doing the drawing. देखो ये अगर आपका plant body है, as I said they are thalloid. So here you will see some cop like structures are there. So these are known as zymmacop. Zymmacop. Okay. So now these, how these gymma are produced? The gymma are produced inside a cup like structure that is called zymmacop. So the gymma are produced inside zymme, inside the zymmacop. Okay, that develops inside the zymmacop. Okay, and these zymmacop are located on the thallus. So this is the thallus and this is the zymmacop, inside which the the zymme are present. Now these zymme, what happens? They detach from the parent. Parent means this thallus, and then after getting the suitable environment, they germinate into new gametophyte. Gametophyte means what? The thalloid structure which produces the gamete, or you can say which undergoes sexual reproduction. Okay, so this is by budding. So budding is a method of asexual reproduction by which it gives rise to the sexually reproducing body, that is the gametophyte. तो यहाँ पर आपका अल्टरनेशन जनरेशन हुआ कि नहीं? आपका यहाँ क्या था? आपका सेक्सुअल एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन हुआ विद द हेल्प ऑफ zymmacop. एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन के बाद इसका लाइफ साइकिल में एसेक्सुअल फेज आ गया. नाउ दिस zymmacop, after detaching from the parent body, it gives rise to the gametophyte. Okay, which now reproduces sexually to form the asexual body. Okay, now come to the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in liverwort. Okay, now this because it is reproducing sexually, it has a male. The liverwort has male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ. Okay, now so these male and female reproductive organs are developed on the they may develop on the same thallus or different thallus. So they may develop same thallus or different thallus. Okay, now these male reproductive organs and these female reproductive organs, they are the archegonia and antheridia. Already I have discussed in my previous class, so now I am not discussing that one. I will start from the fertilization. So fertilization always needs water. So after fertilization, what happens, let us see. So this male reproductive organ produces the male gamete. So this is antheridium. The male reproductive organ is antheridium and this is archegonium. Okay. Now it produces the male gamete or antherozoids and this produces the female gamete or egg. Okay. Now this male gamete and female gametes are fused together to form the zygote. Okay. Now what happens to the zygote? Let us see. The zygote develops into sporophyte. Okay. And this sporophyte, as I have said you, it has a foot, setae and a capsule. Okay. Now this sporophyte, it undergoes meiosis because it is diploid, but the main plant body is what? It is haploid, so it has to produce the haploid plant. So now this the capsule, the cells inside the capsule undergoes meiosis and after meiosis it forms the spores. Okay, now these spores are haploid. Okay, and these spores give rise to gametophyte. So this is regarding the sexual reproduction in liverwort, and the most common example is Markansia. Okay, so here you can see that in your textbook the diagram is given. So the structure is like this. Okay, and here you can see that the male reproductive structure and female reproductive structure may be growing on the different plant, or you can say the different thallus or on the same thallus. Okay, now so the most common example is Markansia. Now come to the other group, that is mosses. Okay, so these mosses are they having two stages of gametophyte. This is very important. Two stages of gametophyte. तो उसके गैमेटोफाइट का दो स्टेज होते हैं. सो वन इज योर द फर्स्ट स्टेज इज नोन एज प्रोटोनोमा. protonema. Okay, very, very important. Protonema, and this protonema develops from spores. So the spores that has been produced by meiosis, that meiosis of the zygote, it develops, the spores are released, and the spores develops into the protonema. So now these protonema are creepers. They are creepers and green branched. Okay, and sometimes they may be filamentous also. Okay, now what is the second stage? The second stage is otherwise known as leafy stage. Okay, now this leafy stage develops from secondary protonema. Okay, so this what is secondary protonema? It is a upright shoot. It is a upright shoot. ओके जैसे मिट्टी के ऊपर ऐसे खड़ा रहता है. ठीक है. देन दे हैव स्पाइरल लीव्स एंड multicellular rhizoids. Okay, now this stage, the leafy stage, second stage, that is leafy stage, produces the sex organ. Okay, now come to reproduction in moss. We'll discuss now reproduction in moss. So the moss reproduces by as I said you, that leafy stage. The leafy stage is the example of the moss, and the moss reproduce by two methods. One is vegetative and the other one is sexual reproduction. Okay, now this vegetative reproduction takes place by two methods, as I have said you, that is fragmentation and budding. Budding means formation of a zygote. Okay, now come to the sexual reproduction. So how this sexual reproduction takes place? So up to zygote I am not explaining, the method is same. So the zygote gives rise to sporophyte. Okay, now the sporophyte has Putzita capsule, and this sporophyte develops into protonema. Okay, then this protonema develops into leafy gametophyte. Okay, so this is the sexual reproduction in mosses. Now this sexual reproduction alternates with the asexual reproduction. So this is gametophyte. What is formed here? The gametophyte is formed. Now how this gametophyte develops into sporophyte? Now sporophyte in mosses. So these sporophyte are more developed than liverwort. Okay, So the sporophyte, it consists of, so suppose this is the stalk, it has a structure like this, then the capsule is also like this, and here is the, so this is foot by which it is remaining attached to the gametophyte. Then this is setae, and this is capsule. Okay, now this capsule contains the spores. Okay, now these spores are dispersed, and after dispersal they give rise to, so the spore give rise to gametophyte. Okay, so the sporophyte now develops into gametophyte. Now come to some of the examples. The examples are Funaria, then Polytrichum, and Sphagnum. Okay, so for this, for today, this much only. So in next class we'll meet with another topic. Okay, so till then, bye bye, thank you.